Attorney Jonathan Elson, reminding you that if you've been injured in an auto accident, it's important to have somebody on your side. When you need a lawyer,
then you need Nelson.
Assistant Sheriff Jamie Prosser with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I'm here to provide you additional details of an officer-involved shooting which occurred on Friday, January 24th, 2025. This is the first officer-involved shooting this year and the first fatal officer-involved shooting. At this same time in 2024, we had no officer-involved shootings. This recent event was reported as a battery call in the 800 block of 6th Street, Boulder City, Nevada, at approximately 9:16 a.m. You can see the scene to my left. The officer involved in this incident is Cesar Ibarra. He is 48 years old and has been with the LVMPD since 2005. Officer Ibarra was armed with an M&P 9mm handgun. The investigation has revealed he fired 2 rounds. He is assigned to the Homeland Security Division, Airport Bureau. It should be noted that Officer Ibarra was on his regularly scheduled day off, but because he identified himself as a police officer and took action as a police officer during this incident, we are considering it an officer-involved shooting. The suspect in this investigation has been identified as Jeremiah Bouchard. He was 45 years old, 5 foot 9 inches tall, and weighed 202 pounds. The following are Bouchard's charges should he have survived: 1 count attempted murder and 1 count battery on a protected person. The details of this officer-involved shootings are as follows. On January 24th, 2025, at approximately 9:16 a.m., Boulder City Police received a call with an open line from the 800 block of 6th Street in Boulder City, Nevada. Dispatchers could only hear what appeared to be fighting in the background. A female could be heard saying her husband was in the front of their residence armed with a firearm, and shortly after, shots were fired. Boulder City police officers arrived on scene and rendered aid to the male, later identified as Jeremiah Bouchard, who was in the front yard of a residence. They requested medical personnel, and he was later pronounced deceased. Boulder City Police learned LVMPD Officer Ibarra had heard commotion coming from the neighbor's backyard. After being alerted by the commotion, Officer Ibarra witnessed Bouchard physically assault a clothesline in the victim's backyard as though he was physically trying to pull it out of the ground. He then observed Bouchard body slam the victim onto the ground, get on top of her, and began to strike her on her face. Officer Ibarra was able to separate himself from Bouchard and drew his own firearm. He identified himself as a police officer and provided several verbal commands to get on the ground and back away. Despite those commands, Bouchard moved forward toward the victim, causing Officer Ibarra and his wife to discharge their weapons, striking Bouchard.